Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam, obviously. Hope you guys are doing well. And this is the preview for Everton against Manchester United. If you're joining us live, thank you for tuning in to AdamMcKola TV. And if you're watching this back after we've been live, then thank you for tuning in. Anyway, hope you guys are all feeling good. We're hot on the heels of Manchester United beating Club Brugge 5-0 and an aggregate victory of 6-1 as well. Comfortably sealing our passage into the last 16 of the Europa League, where we've got a tie with Austria's top club, first in the league at the moment, LASK Linz. So Manchester United will go to Austria, the away leg first, coming up in March, and then obviously the home leg second in a game that we should be going through in. But of course, let's not count our chickens before those eggs have hatched yet, because we're not there yet, and we need to play against Linz, obviously. And before that, we've got a tricky game in the Premier League. A very tricky game in the Premier League. I am worried about this one, ladies and gentlemen. I am worried about this one now. Obviously, Carlo Ancelotti's Everton side lost 3-2 last time out against Arsenal. And they've showed that they can concede goals. A little bit sloppy at the back. They've got a few injuries. I think Walcott's out for them. And Digne may be out for them as well. But nevertheless, they're a very good side under Carlo Ancelotti. They've been playing better football. They've been getting better results. They've been climbing up the league table. And if they were to beat United, they'd be 1 or 2 points behind us. And maybe feel, they're in with a little bit of a sniff of getting into one of those Champions League spots. So it's a tricky game at hand. And I think the Tottenham game, are probably our most difficult games with the end of the season coming up. And if we can get a win in this game, it'd be a massive boost to our top four hopes, a massive, massive boost. If we don't win, and even though Arsenal have been knocked out of the Europa League and all that, and they win their game, then they're 1 or 2 points behind us. So it shows you how tight things are. Everton and Arsenal in 9th or 10th or something like that. United in 5th place, 3 points behind top four, but we could still be caught by them if we don't win this game at the weekend. So we need to be making sure we've got a strong performance. We've been hit by the news that Anthony Martial could be missing the game. Now, last night, I didn't get to the ground until late. I was filming Uncensored with Steve. I was doing a few things, and as a result, I've gone out to the game thinking Martial was being rested, done fan cams, done all of that. I wasn't sure whether he was injured or not. We hear Ole Gunnar Solskjaer after the game saying that he was injured. He did have an injury. He picked up a tight groin injury, I believe, a thigh injury maybe. I can't remember if it's groin or a thigh injury, but he's got a tight muscle in his leg, and he could possibly miss this game as well. He had a late fitness test before the Club Brugge game. Hopefully it's just a case of us not risking him, and Ollie playing his cards close to his chest and is available for this game against Everton. But if it is a muscle injury and he is feeling something, and I guess the team would have met up today, they'll be meeting up again tomorrow. And if he's not feeling quite good, I imagine Ali wouldn't want to risk him. When you look at the form of Bruno Fernandes, 2 goals, 2 assists in his 4 games for United, obviously he's not playing up top. But if you put Igalo or Mason Greenwood in the front, in that front position, then you'd think we'd still have a chance of getting a result. With Anthony Martial coming in off the back of some very positive form after the winter break, 3 goals in 3 games, 3 very different goals. It's gutting for him and the club because no Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford pulled out of the team when he was 19 goals, flying, on course for his best season ever. And Anthony Martial as well, on course for his best season ever. And another injury. He's already had 2 months out, and hopefully this isn't one that will keep him out for a while, because although Igalo is scoring for United now, and I was so emotional seeing that goal, and although Bruno Fernandes is playing well, we need our strikers, and we need Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford, or at least one of them. And if we're without one of them, then we're going to struggle a little bit. So it'd be great to get Martial back for this game, but if he's not fully ready, I wouldn't risk him if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, especially with Derby coming up in the cup, a chance to progress in that cup competition, Linz coming up. I suppose with the fact that some would argue we've got favourable draws. Before the draw in the Europa League, most people were saying they wanted Linz. Derby away, yes, it's a tricky game. They're a championship side. They're doing all right. Wayne Rooney and all that. But we should be winning that game. And you'd probably think if we can get him fit if he's going to be a week or two out, just do it. There's not a lot to worry about. We should be able to get through these games without him. But hopefully, again, Ollie's just playing his cards close to his chest and he's not speaking too much about it yet. We will hear more, though, obviously, from his press conference as well. Do you think Martial will make France's squad for the Euros, says Rasagul? I think if he's fit, he should be making that squad for sure, because he's been in form in front of goal. And I'd like to see him in that squad. Obviously, they've got a few injuries as well. But I think he should be going. He definitely should be going. Yes, the champion. Hope you're doing well. Back again in the comments. Jay Krishnan, thank you for joining us. Bruno is class, says Ilya, with another comment. Igalo score his first Premier League goal for United at Goodison, says Jacob. That would be nice, wasn't it? And like I said in my fan cam, watching him score that goal, it was like watching how I would feel if I suppose I had a son and I watched him score for. I was just so happy for him. And when you look at the story behind it all, his sister passing away in December, his sister being a big United fan like he is, and then he gets that shock move to United a month later, scoring a goal for United in his first start, unveiling a face on his shirt when he scored. It was a touching celebration. It was a touching moment. It was a fantastic moment for him. And you almost get the impression that if that was the last Manchester United goal he scored, he wouldn't be bothered because he's fulfilled his dream, and that's what we all want to do. And I was absolutely buzzing for him. And we got Muddy in the comments saying Igalo is our Nigerian king. And yeah, Nigeria's proud of him. United fans are proud of him. And I'm sure his sister's proud of him as well. Fantastic moment. And great to see. And hopefully, like you said, Jacob, he can get his... Wow, Jacob's saying he got his first goal for Everton against Watford. Good shout. Let's hope he does his first goal for United against Watford. So thank you for that little piece of information. DJ John T's back in the comments. Corshell's in the comments. We'll give you my predictions later on in the show. We'll have my score predictions and my predicted 11 as well. So keep it locked for that. We'll bring my predicted 11 out in about 5 minutes, and we'll obviously discuss what we'll do with that. Now, Manchester United will be coming up against Everton. Now, Everton have been playing a 4-4-2 more recently with Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison in the front positions. Walcott's out injured, so I imagine Sigurdsson might occupy a wider right position now. He'll obviously be able to tuck in a little bit into his favourable number 10 position. Maybe they could play like a diamond at times, but they've been lining up in a 4-4-2. And with that being said, I think that could see us switch to a 3-4-1-2 in this game. We obviously went back to a 4-2-3-1 in the game against Club Brugge. We've obviously had as well Brandon Williams has been rested for the last couple of weeks. Last couple of games, sorry. So hopefully that means we'll be able to play Shaw, be able to play Williams. Although I wouldn't mind seeing Lindelof, Bailly and Maguire. I imagine Bailly may be taken out of this game, just to keep in mind that he's just coming back from an injury. We need to balance his time in the team. Lindelof's playing all right at the moment. Maguire's doing very well. He's settled in. Luke Shaw's doing well. So if you can bring them in the back three and then just take Bailly out, maybe put him back in for the Derby game next week, then that could be the way forward. But I do think we're going to go to a 3-4-1-2. Now, Anshesh is saying Richarlison should be kept quiet. I would like to see Bailly against them. I'm not against Bailly starting. It's just what I think Ali may do. So I do think that we'll go with the back three in this game to occupy their two strikers, and then to still allow us to have our wing backs pushing forward. Because if you've got a back four and you've got two strikers, and then you've got one more pushing on from deep, your centre halves are both occupied. If your wing backs push up, then you're leaving your centre halves a little bit exposed, and that's why I think we could possibly see us go 2-3 at the back for this game. Now, Jacob, I pointed out that you were saying his first goal for Watford was against Everton. I didn't misquote you twice. His first goal in the Premier League for Watford was against Everton. That's what you said, right? And hopefully it'll be this one as well. But apologies if I've got it wrong. The comments are moving as I'm reading them, and they're here, so I can't read them as clearly. Mr. Jack World says, need Bailly against Everton, need that physical presence. Not against Bailly starting. I just think we might be looking after him a little bit. Zayan says, McTominay, Fred, Bruno, the midfield looks consistent now. Now, I wouldn't get carried away. We played against a 10-man Club Brugge side in the Europa League game, obviously. But there was obvious improvements against Watford, although McTominay only came in as a substitute in that game. But I do think, McTominay, Fred, Bruno is the way forward at the moment until Paul Pogba's back and we can strengthen that midfield even more. Then, of course, this is the way to go forward. Again with McTominay, fingers crossed he doesn't get any repercussions from his return, because he put a lot into that game. And what I liked about McTominay's performance, though, was that he was a little bit more disciplined in his position, and he has to be, because when Bruno's playing, when Fred's playing, they're obviously going to be more attack minded than he is. Now, obviously, when he scored his goal, he was pushing up, he was on the edge of the box, he was taking a fantastic strike to score the goal. We don't want to lose that from his play. But again, we were against 10 men, so we kind of had the ability to be able to push forward a little bit more. If we play him against Everton, we need him to be the more disciplined one. We need Fred to be disciplined too, and of course help out and do his job. But I think McTominay is probably more of a 6 out of those two. Fred would probably be the 8. Bruno, he's been occupying a position further afield, but he's happy to drop out left, drop out right, drop out deep. So he's going to be found all over the place. McTominay similar to Keane, mate. Sorry, Stu, calm down a little bit, bruv. For me, nah. Don't be saying all that stuff. That's stupid. Scott McTominay is a very valuable squad member at the moment, first choice midfielder. If we improve our midfield, probably be a squad player, pushing in and just in and out of the first team as an option. I think Fred's a better footballer than him. Obviously Bruno's a better footballer than him, and I think we can improve on him if we want to be challenging for the league title and challenging for the Champions League eventually. That's not to say McTominay can't grow with the team, but comparing him to Roy Keane, I think we just need to calm down a little bit. Roy Keane's one of the best midfielders of his generation. Roy Keane's one of the best midfielders to play for Manchester United, if not the best. Obviously he's up there in the shout with Robson and Scholes, and I'm sure you can probably include Charlton in the midfield conversation as well. But modern day, nah, man, don't compare Scott McTominay to Roy Keane. It's disrespectful to Keano. And that's not to say I'm not a fan of Scott McTominay. He's doing well, but Keano, such a great footballer. I don't think Scott McTominay's got his passing range. He looked better yesterday with some of his passing, but I don't think Scott McTominay's got his passing range. Cannonballer says McSauce is more like Fletcher, can do a job, and is a good squad member. And that's perfectly fine with that. McTominay will show you. I'm not writing him off. Look, I've written him off in the past, and I think he's a talented player, and he's going to be a valuable member of the squad. But comparing him to Roy Keane, fucking hell, let's ease it up a little bit. Ross says, Howson says Chong not good enough. I disagree. I think him and Gomez need to go on loan and develop and play games. The thing with Chong is he looks a little bit fragile, a little bit lightweight. We need him to bulk up a little bit. As for Gomez, the thing with Chong, like we hear Gomez isn't playing because of his contract situation, but Chong isn't signing a contract and he's playing, so it's a little bit weird. Trigger says, what is your thoughts on Daniel James? I thought he did alright yesterday. He created an opportunity for Fred, I think it was. He was involved in some of the build-up for his goals. He did some things which left you, let's be a little bit better there. And I think he does have that ability to frustrate you at times, Daniel James, because he is very one-dimensional. Again, though, he is a valuable squad member, and I think at this moment in time, he's probably playing too much. But we haven't got any competition in the wider areas. Marcus Rashford's been out, who was occupying the left side, and we haven't had any other wide players, so he's had to play. Kind of played in a alongside, Igalo at some points in time. But yeah, I think he's He's someone that you'd probably like to see coming from the bench. But I'm not writing him off. I just think he needs to have his game time balanced at the moment. I haven't seen Ole's presser from yesterday. I've read quotes from it, but I've not seen it, so apologies if I've missed something. Anche says, fair play to Jesse for the assist yesterday. I thought it was a good assist for him, and he grew after he got that assist. It seemed to, before the assist, he took a shot, flew it over the bar. He didn't look too good. And then after the assist, he kind of settled and he started doing things a little bit more naturally. Seems to be overthinking things at times. Now, under Jose Mourinho and at the start of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's reign as manager, I thought Jesse was fantastic. In the last 6 to 8, 9 months, he's not been doing great. Been dropped from the England squad, dropped from the United team. You'd like to see him return to that form, because if he does, again, he's a valuable squad member. But at the moment in time, he's been dropped, and rightly so. Hopefully that will give him a little bit of confidence, because he's clearly a confidence player, and we can see some much improved in performances from Jesse towards the end of the season, because we need these players. Danny James, if he came off injured yesterday at half time, I'm not sure why he came off, whether it was tactical or either arresting him. I'm not too sure what it was, injured. I do think we need options. Chong, is he staying? Jesse's out of form. Mata been returning to form recently. I thought it was fantastic against Bruges, but again, it's difficult to say when you're playing against 10 men and you're playing in them holes. But we can only beat what's in front of you, and that's just what we did. Imagine we had Rashford last night; it would have been ridiculous. It's all about the confidence as the champion. I agree. Yes, Manav, how you doing? JL, hope I've answered your question already. If you missed it, you can rewind a little bit later on. Would you give Mata a new contract? We already gave him a new contract in the summer, didn't we? Grealish would have a similar impact to Let's just calm down today, yes. I want Grealish to sign for Man United. I think he has a swagger about him that you can compare to some very good players. But let's settle a little bit, man. Some madness going on today. Anyway, let's get stuck into my predicted 11 for this game. I do think Martial, we might not risk him. I've got that feeling we're not going to risk him if it's a muscle injury. So the team I've gone with, like I said, I think it's going to be a 3-4-1-2. David De Gea in goal. Maguire, Bailly, Shaw. So I did go with Bailly in my 11 after all I said about Ole potentially just pulling him back out of the team and giving him a little bit of a rest. Wan-Bissaka, Matic, Fred and Brandon Williams in the 4. Bruno, James and Igalo. I put James because I don't think there's an injury, and I think Ole brought him off at half time, probably with this game in mind. Him being able to stretch the play, Igalo to hold it up, Bruno Fernandes to get involved. That could be a way to get at Everton. Get in behind. Their fullbacks like to get forward, and with that being said, there'll be space for us in the flanks. Wan-Bissaka, Williams, or whoever plays in those wider areas pushing forward. It'd be good to see. But I'm looking forward to seeing Bruno playing again, Fred playing again. Matic I've brought back into the team because I think, again, similar to Eric Bailly's potentially being pulled out of the team, I think Scott McTominay maybe just taken out of the team a little bit, put him back in next week against Derby. It's going to probably be a very physical game against Derby. Put him back in there and see how we get on. I don't think we need to rush him. We don't want to rush him. Fred's playing well at the moment. Matic is doing all right at the moment. The worst thing we can do is rush McTominay, play him again, and he gets injured. That's not what we want to do. We want to manage him because we've got close to a fully fit squad now. Obviously, Martial's picked up this knock. Rashford and Pogba are still out, but we're edging close. Those are our three best players who are out, bar Bruno. I know Bruno's just arrived, but our three best players are out: Pogba, Martial, Rashford at the moment. And with that being said, we need to juggle and manage everybody else and make sure we're not picking up any needless injuries. If Scott can then come in for the last 20 minutes, get that 20 more minutes under his belt, I'm sure he'll be edging a lot closer to full fitness. Yesterday he was probably breathing out of his arse a little bit towards the end of the game, but we were helped by the fact it was against 10 men, and the lads probably wouldn't have had to exert as much energy as they have. Like I said, I think we'll go with the back three because of the fact that we've got Everton playing with the 4-4-2. We've Richarlison, Dominic Calvert-Lewin will be occupying those centre halves. So why have 2 centre halves? You may as well put 3 there. One of them, Bailly, can sweep up. Luke Shaw can help out with Maguire or Lindelof or whoever. Brandon Williams can provide that wing back position, getting forward and helping out in defence. Wan-Bissaka too. I think that's the way to go. How long is Anthony Martial out? Says Fireblade. He's facing a late fitness test for this game. So hopefully he's past fit and he's on the bench or he starts. But I just think if he's got a muscle injury, you don't risk him. We've risked players this season and we've had them ruled out for a long time. Pogba, he played through an injury against Rochdale, needed to go and get an operation. Marcus Rashford comes off the bench with a back injury, suffers another back injury, and then it's even worse and he's potentially out for the remainder of the season. It's fucking bizarre for us to be doing that. It's bizarre for us to be doing that. Rashid says, if you can't risk McTominay, how come Bay? I know, mate, I know. I've spoken about Bay potentially being dropped from this, rested from this game, and then I've gone and put him in my team. I think I meant to put Lindelof, but it's a good point what everyone was saying in regards to Bailly being better in terms of dealing with that aerial presence. Richarlison's decent in the air, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin ain't too bad either. I think the Martial injury was mind game, says Mr. Jack World. Fingers crossed that is the case. Guys, can you get hitting that like button on this video, please? We got 31 likes. That's shizzle, man. Get hitting that like button on this video. Get commenting. Get sharing. Get your super chats in as well if you want to do that. Good team. Gives us a strong bench with McTominay and Greenwood, and that's always a good thing to have as well. I hope we see Ethan Laird a lot more in cup games now. Says Cannonballer. It was, of course, great news to see that he's signed a new deal at Old Trafford as well. He was actually probably next in line before Ethan Laird. Before Brandon Williams. And then Ethan Laird goes and gets injured. Brandon Williams steps forward, takes his opportunity. Ethan Laird will be looking to get an opportunity soon and challenge for that spot as well. And I'm sure he will do that. He can also play at right back too. I think Williams can play at right back too, so options. Delo can play on both sides, which is always helpful, isn't it? But you do get a sense that Wan-Bissaka will be locking down that right hand side. Yes, Carey, tell him what to do. Hit that like button. Gomez works harder to get back from his. Come on, mate. Different injuries. I know again his leg break was really bad, but it's different injuries, isn't it? It's different things, so can't always look at it that way. It's like saying McTominay's been out for a certain time, or Rashford is out. Surely he should be back by now. No one says that. DJ John T says, hey you, with a super chat. Thank you very much, DJ John T. Always got you there in the comments, and I do appreciate you. Bay's been back longer though, says Mo Wada. Good point, mate. Laird and Williams reminds me of the Raphael and Fabio issue. It's not an issue if you've got the alternatives. Ali has failed Laird, Gomez, Garner and Levy. I don't think he's failed them at all, and I think it's being unfair to suggest that. He's given younger players a chance. Greenwood's on 11 goals this season. Brandon Williams has been racking up the starts. Garner and Levitt have played at times. You can't rush them. They've also had injuries at times. Ethan Laird's had injuries at times. Angel Gomez has had injuries at times. Although I do agree with him, he's one of them that should have been playing more. Especially when you look at Tahith Chong, has had his contract dispute and hasn't played. And has played, sorry. So I agree with you with Angel Gomez, but to bring Garner and Levitt and Ethan Laird into the mix when they've had injuries and things like that, I think it's a little bit unfair. And also Ethan Laird plays in a position where Brandon Williams plays. So if you play Ethan Laird, you got to take Brandon Williams out, or you got to take Wan-Bissaka out. Those guys are young players too. Yes, the Waterboy one with a super chat says, you wild man, you. Help and share to keep these guys' contribution to the United community informed. I appreciate, brother. Keep doing what you do. That guy comparing Keane to McTominay, calm down, mate. I do agree with you as well. Of course, though, imagine if he's right, and in 20 years' time, we're looking at this video like, you laughed at that geezer saying McTominay was going to be like Keane, and look what he went and done. He went and won treble and all that. I pray he's right. But yeah, it's a crazy thing to say right now. But thank you very much for your super chat. I really do appreciate you, the Waterboy 1 in them comments. Man United Inter Milan Europa League final, says Ross Murphy. I wanted them in the Europa League last 16, or I want them in the next game, last 8, because let's beat them now. It's like Sevilla have got Roma, so one of the favourites. Well, one of the other favourites are going to go out. Who did Inter Milan get? Getafe or someone like that. Let me have a look. Let me have a look at the full draw. Europa League draw. Last 16. United have obviously got LASK Lynch. So that's the team probably many would have wanted. This is it. Istanbul, Başakşehir and Copenhagen. Olympiacos and Wolves. Rangers and Leverkusen. Wolfsburg and Shakhtar Donetsk. Inter and Getafe, so they do have Getafe. Sevilla and Roma. Frankfurt or Salzburg against Basel. And obviously LASK against United. United were the last team out of the hat. You save the best to last and you save the winners till last. I'll predict the last 8 right now. It's going to be Istanbul, Başakşehir, Wolves, Leverkusen, Wolfsburg, Inter, Roma, Frankfurt and United. That's what I think the last 8 will be. Some people think Getafe will beat Inter. Ilya thinks that in the comments. But I'm going United, Frankfurt, Roma, Inter, Wolfsburg, Leverkusen, Wolves and Istanbul. You'd have 2 Italian teams, 2 English teams, 2 German teams, Istanbul, Başakşehir and 3 German teams potentially. But yeah, that's what I think of the last 8 of Europa League now that we've seen the draw. Ilya does think Getafe will beat Inter. Carey says LASK have been playing really well in Europe. Twice the team Brugge are. Thank you for letting us know. I'm going to research a little bit with it coming up. Do you want to save them predictions? What I'll do is I'll probably do a video a week before the Europa League kicks off or something like that, and we can see if we're right towards the end. I'll predict it. I can't predict it all the way, can I? Because of the fact that normally you find out like who might get who next, but we haven't done this for this one. Manchester's United versus Wolves in the Europa League final. That would be scary. I'd be a little bit worried about that because they're a very good team. Guys, get hitting that like button, get commenting, get sharing, get subscribing, and of course get super chatting. Here on AdamMcKola TV is the Everton vs Manchester United preview. Although we have been discussing the Europa League a little bit more recently. DJ John T said Europa League or Premier League. I'm guessing you mean Champions League through the Premier League or Europa League. If we had to choose one, I'd take the Europa League because of the fact that it comes with a trophy. You know what I mean? Finishing 5th and you get a trophy, that wouldn't bother me at all. Obviously, if you finish 5th, you could potentially get Champions League football. But I think with Man City appealing and all that, it might get dragged on for a little bit, or I don't know what's going to happen with that. But nevertheless, I think I would rather the Europa League. There's no reason why we can't do what Chelsea did last season and get both though, which would be very good as well. Your formation is 2 defences. If we play it, we won't create a lot of chances. We really want a win, and risky football will be needed, says Trigger. Actually, I don't think that's defensive at all, mate. I do see why you think it could be defensive, and depending on how your mindset is, and not your mindset, the player's mindset and the manager's mindset going into the game, I actually think that allows us to attack more. Because of the fact they play with a 4-4-2, it means they've got 2 strikers occupying that defence. Now, if we play with a back 4, when Wan-Bissaka and Williams or Wan-Bissaka and Shaw go forward, our centre-halves are then going to be exposed a little bit because they're occupied by 2 players. Whereas if you play with that back 3, you can push those 2 on. So it allows Wan-Bissaka and it allows Williams or whoever your left full-back is to be pushing further forward. And you'll see in modern day football, obviously the great example is Liverpool because of how well Robinson and Trent are doing at the moment. But fullbacks and wingbacks are so important into how teams attack. And if you're able to push them forward, allow Matic or McTominay to sit there and protect the back three as well, you then have an attack consisting of Wan-Bissaka and Williams, with Fred and Bruno and James and Igalo or whoever the players are in those positions. So I think with the back three, you shouldn't lose that attacking edge. It should just make you a little bit more protected on the counter-attack, which we need to be going into this game. Because even with the injuries to Luca Digne, I think, Theo Walcott's a question mark. They might be back and they might be fit, and hopefully Anthony Martial, like someone said, it might be mind games from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But even with that being said, these guys have a very strong team. Calvert-Lewin's in form now. He's finding the goals. Richarlison's always a threat. Got a goal against Arsenal last week and is doing well this season. He's a player that I would have fancied at United once upon a time. The midfield, Iwobi's erratic. And he's not a great player, but he'd always worry me in a game because you can do decent things at times. Sigurdsson's obviously got skills, and he's got set piece specialists in him as well. Fabian Delph and Schneiderlin's not the worst midfield. So when you're looking at it, they've got a strong team. Holgate and Mina are doing alright at centre half, although they're conceding fair few goals. Sidibe, I think, is someone that we can really get at because he goes forward a lot. He bombs forward a lot. And like I was saying, with if we plays a back four, we're going to be able to get got at if our fullbacks push forward. While if Sidibe and Baines push forward, we can get at them in those wider positions. So I do think the game could open up for United here. Obviously, the likes of Moise Kean on the bench, Michael Keane on the bench, Gomez is back, Tom Davis, Stecklenberg in goal. But I think Theo Walcott, Luca Digne could potentially be out of this game for them. Jordan Pickford's another one we should be challenging. We should be getting in his face from corners and set pieces. We should be taking efforts from far. I think he's an awful goalkeeper. I do, Jordan Pickford. He's got the ability to make some fantastic, shot-stopping saves at times. But he's also got a ricket in him. He's also got a massive mistake in him. And I think, we need to get testing him. Whether it's Bruno Fernandes, Anthony Martial, Igalo, whoever, get shooting. Fred, without his shooting boots on the other day, get shooting at this guy because he will make mistakes, even if it's spilling them into the path of someone like Igalo, who's been showing that he can be in and around that 6-yard box. So I think we need to test Jordan Pickford in this game. He's probably a particular weak point for them. That's for sure. Philip says, why not Greenwood instead of James? That's a good shout as well. I just don't think Oli will start him away from home, although I could be wrong. He's got 11 goals this season, you know what I mean? Guys, get hitting the like button, get commenting, get sharing, get super chatting, get your thoughts in. That Beckham free kick at Goodison Park, what a free kick that was as well. Was it in his last season? I think that might be his last goal for United, I think his last goal for United was against Everton. Is that the one you're thinking about, mate? Ross says, Jose didn't fancy Fred. Fred has improved under Oli. I think a little bit of confidence can go a long way with some players. A little bit of confidence can go a long, long way. Igalo double. Who said that? Did Ancelotti say that and delete it? I think it is. I think he did just that. Schneiderlin won't play. He's injured, says Owen JH. Okay, sorry about that, mate. I didn't realise that. Bruno Fernandes will score again, says Ilya. Igalo double incoming, 3-0 less goals, says Ancelotti. So he's commented again. So yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in to the preview today. Adam's watching from Cape Town. I remember going to South Africa last year with Ryan Giggs, which was good fun. That video, in case you missed it, it's on Full Time Devils. But yeah, thank you for tuning in, guys. I've appreciated every single last one of you for tuning in. Whether you've got your comments in, whether you've got your super chats in, whether you've got your, like the video, subscribe today, whatever you've done. Thank you for tuning in. I am going for a 2-1 victory to Manchester United in this game. I am feeling confident after the week that we've had, or the return since the winter break. But I am also aware that this is a very difficult game. Everton are a strong side. They've got a very good manager. And I think he'll have something up his sleeve. But I do think they have weak spots. And if we go into it playing like we have been, we were able to bring Bruno Fernandes off the other day. If we go into it playing like we have been, we should be able to come out with 3 points. I think it's massively important for us to get 3 points. If we lose this game, then you've got people like, Chelsea can stretch their advantage on us. Arsenal can close the gap on us, and then Everton are 2 points behind us. Arsenal are a point behind us, and then we've gone from 5th to potentially looking over at 9th, 10th spot, and that's not where we want to be going to. So we need to be winning this game, massively important game, and I think a result in this game can set us up for either a positive end to the league campaign or a negative end to the league campaign. Anyway, guys, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. For now, guys, I've been AdamMcKola. I'm going to get out of here now, but before I do, there'll be more content over the weekend. I'll have something up for you on Saturday, not quite sure what just yet. And then on Sunday, live reaction from Goodison Park after United have hopefully, fingers crossed, beaten Everton. I've been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here.